Well, my name is Pat Kerwin. I'm with the Lebanon Valley Expo Center.
I'm Daniel Seigel with the Lebanon Area Fair Board.
And we're here today to express our appreciation for the grant money that you kindly gave to the Expo Center and to the fair. It's been wonderful. We've repaved our parking lot. Remember, it was a parking lot grant. We've gotten so many wonderful comments about how great it looks. And I brought some pictures. I thought maybe I could just pass around just a few of them. But not only get compliments on the appearance, but we were able to pave around the buildings. So the problem we had in the past where people were driving on those stones and in the mud and then coming into the building, and sometimes, like today, we have a tractor event moving in, they would have to wash their vehicles once they brought them in because they got muddy coming in or dusty or dirty. So it's been a huge, huge benefit to the Expo Center, and I can't thank you enough. There's one piece remaining, and that is we're hoping to widen the driveway. We're working with PennDOT on that, and it seems to be slowly moving forward, so we're excited about that. And I just didn't want to take a lot of your time, but I want to tell you how much we appreciate that support and your everyday support of the Expo Center. I know you've all been out there and seen the parking lot, but just wanted to come in and say thanks.
Just ask in your guessing at this point, I know the public is going to appreciate the widening if that ends up happening. Any time frame that you can forecast?
I really can't. It's we're working with Traffic Planning and Design, a consulting firm.
It's 3 years. Go ahead.
They told us that we probably ought to be thinking about a year and a half from when we started. So we're into it probably 6 months or maybe a little longer. And they did some traffic counts, you know, and PennDOT has these lots of regulations about how wide it can or can't be depending on traffic counts. So that's kind of where we are. I wish I could give you something more positive.
That's okay. We have a meeting with them at 11:30, so maybe we can.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, worst case scenario would be during the fair week.
Yes. Oh my God.
We'll try and express that that's not an acceptable option.
We appreciate it. To us, it's a sound investment with tourism and all the activity out there that's really highly regarded throughout the state. You know, the whole expo operation, the fair, and so on. So, Daniel, do you want to give a little?
Just on the fair side of things, we're obviously working in concert with the Expo Center because Expo Center is the one that actually owns the grounds. But in terms of our project, which is the bleacher project and track improvements, overall track improvements, the progress of that is, as of last week, all permits are now in place to allow movement of dirt to start, which the anticipated timeline for that is the next 1 or 2 weeks, starting the movement of dirt, drilling, blasting, planning, and those sorts of things. The bleachers that were existing that we are going to be continuing to use, the aluminum ones that are in perfect shape, have already been moved off the site area. I would have probably cringed watching that process, but they are moved off site and they're sitting there ready so that once the new concrete pad and everything is in place, they can be moved back and then seen together with the new bleachers that are on order. The new bleachers are on order. We've already paid the down payment and they should be arriving in April. At least that's the hopeful timeline right now. So really, through hell or high water at the fair, we should have new bleachers and a whole new transit.
Usage of that word.
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's the goal. Is that we're going to have everything in place, everything finished up, and ready to go for fair time.
And the capacity will be.
The capacity will be increased, and then the other huge advantage to it, obviously, is that everything is up to code.
Yes.
We have our aisleways rather than having antiquated bleachers where everybody sits and you zigzag up through to sit. We're going to actually have stairways with railings, and then we also have new lighting. We've already paid for the lights to lock in those prices. But the new lighting will provide safety all around also. So.
Are those directional to come down onto the track, or does it go up into the sky?
That's outside my pay grade, but my understanding was that they're directing at the track, and then they also are gonna have some that are pointed right down so that the crowd has lighting
Great,
for safety reasons.
okay. That's just important for like the gap flying over at night and stuff.
Yeah, we're letting, I mean, it sort of led up to the engineers who are designing that part
And
of it.
hopefully they're up on all that,
I would hope, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the news from the fair side, and again, appreciate the support, not only for this one-time grant, but the ongoing. It's never forgotten.
If I could add, you mentioned the sound investment, it's a great investment. The facilities, but beyond the facilities, what the Expo does and the fair does for our local economy, the positive impact is, I don't know how we can measure that completely, but it takes a good experience for all the vendors that come in here, for all the visitors. You too and your teams deserve credit for that, so thank you very much.
And indirectly, I mean, really, if you think about it, it's an investment in our people, in the young people who are going to be the future farmers and make sure we have food to eat. So,
Yep.
you know, it's a great partnership.
Well, it reflects on the county as a whole, I think, when you can attract the volunteers that we get to support that. I mean, it just speaks well of our, you know, the nature of our county, that they all step up to fill all those booths and chip in, and it's just a great experience.
I
And
don't know if everybody in this room knows about it, but they all volunteer at the fair. It's
well, I wasn't talking about us.
No,
Patrick,
I'm just saying,
But I
it's
mean,
so nice.
when you see the outpouring of support for it, it's just because we have good people running it, and a good cause, and all that works together, and then the people's just their the heritage that they have in terms of their volunteering for other things. They, you know, this is a natural extension of that. So
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, in an era when other nonprofits are struggling to get volunteer help, I mean,
Yeah.
we're
I
doing,
didn't know I was volunteering. Dan told me I had to do this, and I had to keep doing it till I get it right.
it's a
That's
job
called
requirement.
volunteering. When you're voluntold, you just do
Wow, you
it.
guys are wonderful, thank you.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, Dan, before
Yeah.
you check out of here, how much did the bleachers cost? Do you know?
I don't have that, but I'd be going off of memory here. I
Generally.
think the bleachers were somewhere in the area of 600 some thousand between the including the concrete pad, and then the lighting. I could get you the exact breakdown if you'd
That's about
like,
right, though.
but that's my.
No, I mean, just like generally,
Yeah.
600 grand for the bleachers
For
and
the whole
pad.
project, I mean, not just the aluminum slab, we're talking concrete pad, we're talking widening the track, replacing the wall that's collapsing at the track.
An installation.
And then the installation, yeah.
Okay,
So-
so lighting is separate though.
Correct.
Okay.
It's all gonna be done at the same time.
No,
but the
that's just
lighting-
the cost of the lighting
Correct,
is separate.
correct.
And then the capacity increase,
I can
seating, do you know what that
get you
is?
those numbers. It's a little shameful to admit, but at the other, with everything being older, we had a rough count, but it all depended on how people sat and where the stairs formed, like where people left space. But I believe it's in the thousands in terms of space. You do lose a little space because you have more space devoted to the walkways. So it's a less, like per square foot, it's a less efficient seating, but it's a safe seating.
And the only other, I think I'm finished. The only other question, you mentioned just the expansion of the track.
Mhm.
What is that going to do? Are you deep enough in that just to get
So-
an idea what that'll?
The track itself, the expansion of the track is going to allow for a greater variety of events to be held there. We have a rodeo there on Monday night of the fair, and the general consensus of barrel racers is this is just a little too tight for our horse. And so that's just one example. We have other people who are interested in running two tracks at the same time for pools, truck and tractor pools. The widening of it would allow for a more varying use. And then it also, your main event is happening farther away from the seating, which is always a goal as well for safety.
Okay, well, very good. Thank you for the updates, and we appreciate you coming and giving us your thanks. We know you appreciate it.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day.